First, we'll start by designing the floor, which is in this case a carpet. It's not a problem to start with the floor and add the frames later. You can design the carpet using the rectangle tool in point 0.0. You can type in the dimensions in the box on the bottom right-hand side. We want the floor to be 10 by 20 feet, so we'll start by entering 20 feet, followed by a semicolon, and then 10 feet. Submit the dimensions by pressing Enter. Using the Push-Pull tool in the left-hand column, you can add thickness to your floor. You could enter this in the same box as for the floor dimensions. In this case, we'll type in 1 inch. In order to make a group of the carpet, we'll select everything, right-click on the floor, and select Make Group. A group is a collection of lines and surfaces that belong together and form a whole. Using the section Materials on the right-hand side, you can search for a specific carpet in the section Carpet, Fabric, etc. Stand on your selected carpet with the paint bucket and choose Carpet Flush Charcoal. We'll now add the frames and corners to our design. Open the Aluvision Parts library. Click on Omni 55. Download Basic 55/Omni 55A3 frame by clicking the blue download icon. You will receive a notification from the 3D warehouse if you want to download the frame directly into your SketchUp model. Click Yes. If you want to change the dimensions and other options of the frame, right-click on the frame, go to Dynamic Components, and click on Component Options. You can now change the dimensions and add Aluvision front and/or back. Once you hit Apply, the frame will be updated. We'll now position our frame exactly on the outlines of the carpet, so it doesn't exceed our surface. After selecting the frame, you can move it using the Move tool. Zoom in on the corner of your frame and drag it to the end point of your carpet. Add additional frames by copying the first frame. You can copy it using the Move tool and pressing the Control button at the same time. You can easily join the two frames together using the Aluvision snapping tool. Always select the component you want to move first, and then select the component you want to attach it to. If the two components are not yet aligned, it's better to select two snapping points. If they are already aligned, you only have to select one snapping point. Now you've already got two frames next to each other. Next, we'll use a T-corner, which you'll need to download from the Aluvision Parts library. Go to the section Corners. Download T-corner A1 by clicking the blue download icon. The component options allow you to adjust height and add Aluvision if needed. In this case, we won't need Aluvision as the backside of the corner is not visible. So we'll select None. When you're done, click Apply. You can easily align your T-corner with the other frames using the Aluvision snapping tool. Continue adding the next frame. You can again copy it with the combination of the Move tool and the Control button. Snap your frame to the T-corner with the Aluvision snapping tool. On the other side of the T-corner, we'll add a door. You can download the door from the Aluvision parts library. Go to Omni 55, choose the Premium Door A3, and download it by clicking the blue download icon. We advise to always use double-sided Aluvision on doors. This, as well, can be adjusted in the section Component Options. Select White from the drop-down menu for Aluvision front and back. The option Direction allows you to change the opening direction of the door. With Opening, you can determine how far the door will be open. It is also possible to add a window to your door. Then put the door in place by using the Aluvision snapping tool. On the other side of the frame, you can add the same T-corner without Aluvision. You can copy it with the Move tool and the Control button. Snap your corner to the frame with the Aluvision snapping tool. Next to the second T-corner, we'll add another frame. Copy it using the Move tool and the Control button. Snap your frame to the T-corner with the Aluvision snapping tool. Next, we'll put a C90 corner next to the frame. Snap your corner to the frame with the Aluvision snapping tool. Then, copy the C90 corner, again using the Move tool and Control button, and snap it to the door. Between the two C90 corners, we'll need an Omni 55 frame of 39.06 by 43.94 inch at the bottom. We'll start from a frame we've already used. Select the frame you want to make smaller and open the component options. The component options will allow you to adjust height and width of the frame. Then position your frame in between the two C corners, again using the Aluvision snapping tool. On top of this Omni 55 frame, we want to use 4 high-LED tiles. You'll need to download those from the Aluvision parts library. Go to High-LED. Choose the High-LED tile by clicking the Download button. The High-LED can also be positioned using the Aluvision snapping tool. Copy the High-LED tile using the Move tool and Control button. Start typing 19.53 inches and press Enter. Then select the two bottom tiles and copy those 19.53 inches upwards. On top of the 4 High-LEDs, we'll need an Omni 55 frame that is 12.20 by 39.06 inch. Again, we'll start from a frame that we've already used, select the frame you want to make smaller, open the component options, and you can adjust height and width. Then, snap the small frame on top of the highlight tiles with the Aluvision snapping tool. To add a Poly 124 bright frame, go to the Aluvision parts library to download it. Go to the section Poly 124 bright. Choose the Poly 124 bright frame by clicking the Download button. If you open the component options, you can not only change the dimensions, but also the type of SCG infills. You will see that the lightbox dimensions are set to 78 by 117 inch. We will change these dimensions to 2418 mm by 1860 mm. Note that these dimensions must be entered in millimeters. Put the Poly 124 bright frame next to the T-corner using the Aluvision snapping tool. Make sure to pay attention to the shape of the Poly 124 bright profile. The slope side is the backlit side, so that will need to be facing front. The LED modules and the drivers are already included in the Poly 124 bright frame. We'll now add an arch section next to the Poly 124 bright lightbox. Put a 39 by 95 inch Omni 55 frame next to the Poly 124 bright lightbox. You can copy the frame using the Move tool and the Control button. You can easily put your frame next to the lightbox using the Aluvision snapping tool. For the top of the arch, we'll need a curved frame, which we can also download from the Aluvision parts library. Go to Omni 55 and download the Omni 55 A3 R437 V2 frame. Change the height of the frame to 39.06 inch in the component options and choose white Aluvision infills for the front and back of the frame. For the ceiling, we'll need an Omni 55 frame of 39 by 78 inch. Again, you can copy a frame you've already used using the Move tool and the Control button. Then, in the component options, change the height to 78 inch. Next, we'll add another Omni 55 A3 R437 frame on the other side of the ceiling frame. Again, you can copy it with the Move tool and the Control button. Then, finish the bridge with a 39 by 95 inch frame. After copying the frame from the other side with the Move tool and Control button, you can change the Aluvision to white front and back in the component options. When importing the connectors, it's easier if the Aluvision panels are not visible. In the right-hand column, go to Tags and tick off Visible of A4SU infill. Let's start with the Quick Tightener LSD30A. You can find this connector by selecting two frames and then opening the Aluvision parts library. Download the connector by clicking the blue download icon. Position the Quick Tightener LSD30A with the Aluvision snapping tool. Do the same for every connection between a corner post and a frame by selecting the frame and the corner post and then opening the Aluvision parts library. Download the Quick Tightener LSM6030x80 in the same manner as the quick tightener LSD30A. To attach your door to a corner post, you will need a different connector, which is called Quick Tightener Premium M6K. The easiest way to find it is by selecting the corner and the door, and then opening the Aluvision parts library. You'll need 2 connectors on each side of the door. Again, you can position these by using the Aluvision snapping tool. There is also a Click and Connect button. This button will automatically insert all necessary quick tighteners. The boot also has 2 puck flex lights, which you can also find in the Aluvision parts library in the section Lighting. Choose the puck flex 16 watt and download it into your SketchUp model. You can position it using the Aluvision snapping tool. Inside the storage, we'll also add a clothes rod. You can find it in the Aluvision parts library in the section Accessories. Position it in the frame using the Aluvision snapping tool. The frame on the far left of the back wall will need shopper's shelf brackets. Those can be found in the Shelf Holders section of the Aluvision parts library. When using the Aluvision snapping tool to position the brackets, you need to snap them to the holes on the outside of the frame. On the shoppers, you can draw a shelf with the rectangle tool. Make the shelf a bit thicker by using the push-pull tool. Type 1 inch into the box on the bottom right-hand side and press Enter. Turn your shelf into a component by selecting everything, then right-click and select Make Component. Type Shelf in the box definition and click Create. You can easily copy the shoppers and the shelf with the Move tool and the Control button. You can also put a sculpture on the shelf. The sculpture as well can be found in the Aluvision parts library. It's called The Visitor by Guido Deleu. With the Move tool, you can put the sculpture on the shelf. We can now cover the outsides of the Omni 55A3 frames with an Omni 55 cover. You will find this in the section Covers. Use the Aluvision snapping tool to attach the cover to the frame. The Omni 55 covers on both sides of the ceiling frame will need to be adjusted to 78.11 inch. Select the cover you want to make smaller and open the component options. Use the Aluvision snapping tool to place the cover on the frames. You can also cover the outside of the curved frames with a cover called Omni 55 R437 90-degree wall reinforcement L. You will find this in the section Covers. Use the Aluvision snapping tool to attach the cover to the frame. Go to Tags and tick Visible of A4SU Infill. We'll now be giving the stand an upgrade by adding some texture to the Aluvision panels. You will first need to make the first frame unique, otherwise all the 39-inch frames will automatically get the same texture. Select the frame, right-click and select Make Unique. Select the Aluvision of the first frame. You'll have to double-click 2 times until the surface is selected. Then go to File, Import. Search for your first texture. This should be a file that is saved on your computer. For Use Image As, select Texture. Make sure you're looking for a JPEG file. First, select the lower left corner and then the lower right corner, or type in 39-inch. Repeat these actions for the second and for the final frame. Next, select the Aluvision on the front frame of the bridge. You'll have to double-click it twice until the surface is selected. Open the folder with the logo and drag the file to the Aluvision panel. By using the green dots, you can scale the logo. Use the Move tool to reposition it. Select the front fabric of the Poly 124 Bright light box. You'll have to double-click twice until the surface is selected. Then, go to File, Import. Search for the visual that you saved on your computer. Make sure to look for JPEG files and select Texture before importing the file. First, select the lower left corner and then the lower right corner, or type in the required size. Download the looping counter from the Aluvision parts library. You can find it in the folder Ready Made and Displays. Position it with the Move tool. Everything you download from the Aluvision parts library is in a tag. The column on the right side shows the most frequent tags. You can make tags visible or invisible by clicking the little eye in front of the tag. You've drawn the floor yourself, so you can put that in a separate tag and call it Floor. Click the plus symbol to add a tag and type Floor. Select the floor in your model and go to the entity info on the right. Choose Floor as your tag. To test the tag, try making it invisible. In SketchUp, creating scenes will allow you to save different model views and properties, which you can then use to present the model to your own customers. Before you create a scene, choose the right angle and apply the styles, shadows, etc. that you want the scene to display. Also, hide any geometry or deselect any layers that you don't want to be displayed in the view. All these properties are saved in your scene. However, it is possible to update or manage them later on. Click the plus sign to add a scene. The scene will then appear in the Scenes dialog with the default name of Scene 1. For each scene you create, a new tab will appear at the top of the drawing area. So just click the different tabs to see all of your different saved views. Now we're going to save the scene we've made as an image. Select Scene 1. Then, under File, go to Export and then click 2D Graphic. Save your image. Repeat these steps for every scene you made. We can also combine all the scenes we made into a video. To do so, go to File, Export, and click on Animation to save the video. SketchUp can also automatically generate a quote based on the drawing. In order to get your quote, click on the Aluvision quote button. You will need an Aluvision account to log in before you can get a quote. Log in with the same email address and password you use for the Aluvision website. Your quote will then be generated, showing all prices. It's possible to change the Aluvision logo to your own logo, as well as update the overall color and add client information. You can also update or remove the given discount. When your quote is ready, you can export it to Excel or print it. The personal library is one button with two different functions. If there is no component selected, you can see your personal library and get models from it. First, you must set the location of the library. This can be any folder on your device or within the network. Ideally, this should be a network folder or a shared folder, such as Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, or similar. If a component is selected, you can give your model an identity, such as a product group, reference, name, weight, and price. There is also a setting that allows you to indicate whether a product should be included in the library or not.